Here we go. Here we go again. Oh boy. All right. It is time. It is time. A lot of you requested that I live stream more during this challenge, so that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get some extra live streams in every week. I'm going to do videos on the account progress for the free-to-play challenge. But I want to go ahead and live stream a bit because we had a lot of fun the other night when I live streamed. And also I think most of my live streams are Takeover Tuesdays, and those happen at a very different time of day. So this is going to give an opportunity to those of you who can't watch that stream live to maybe get another live stream going on here. So that's what we're going to do. And hopefully, hopefully we get some people in here because right now I think I'm talking to myself. Yeah, we're only 50 seconds in, but nobody has joined yet. So we'll have to see if people discover the stream and show up. Okay. So let's start talking about the account. We are on day 4. Day 4, as you can sort of see right there. So on the Alice Chase, we did day 4. Now, a quick reminder that I didn't start my account until after the server reset Friday night for me. So HellHades and most of the content creators and the people participating, they created their account after 3 p.m. my time on Friday. But I created mine at around 8 o'clock on Friday. So I'm 5 hours behind, but 1 server day behind. So everybody else should be right now in day 5 if they began the chase as soon as they could. But I'm a day behind, but that's okay. That's okay. Just giving you some context for where I stand. Okay, we've got some people in here. Despawn, how you doing? Brian Ward. Yo, what's up, Colred? Glad you're streaming because I can't play Raid tonight. Oh, okay. Waiting till CVC starts so I can get points for Alice. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm playing minimally on my main account. So I decided why not come here and play a little bit on the challenge account. Brian Ward says, good to see you, Colred. Wishing you and your team luck at the free-to-play. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I don't really know my entire team. You can individually check which content creators are on your team in the on HellHades website. So if you go to that website, maybe I'll do it right now and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Yeah, let me show you. Okay. So I'm here on the main page. You just click on this. It says free to play 2025 is here. You just click on this, follow the free to play, and it brings you to this page. Now, here is a list of all of the content creators who are involved in it. So if you hover over I'm sorry, not hover over name. If you click on a name, it says what team they're on, Team Queen of Hearts, right? So I know that I'm on the Team Queen of Hearts. Where's my logo? There it is. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on Team Alice. I knew that. I'm on Team Alice. I knew that. But so I'm on Team Alice, and Saphira's on Team Queen of Hearts. So I can go and click on anybody and find out if they're on Team Alice or Team Queen of Hearts. But I don't know that there's a way to see the full list of everybody on the same team. There was a list that was posted in a Discord for a little bit, but it has since been taken down. I don't know why. So at a glance, I can't figure it out. And as you can see here, these are the point totals for the team. So we're 1,800 points behind or so out of 20,000. So it's not too far behind, about 9% behind, something like that. But that's okay. It's still early. I don't think I'm on the leaderboard anyway. Where that reminds me though, I need to launch my HellHades optimizer so that it will track what I'm doing tonight. So I've been doing this, but honestly, it was a different last year. It was a different interface. You could check your own progress, but now this year I can't check my own progress, which is a little bit weird. So that's what we've got going on. So now I just logged in here. So now it'll be tracking my progress. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's see. Uh-oh. I made a small mistake here. I actually shut down my... There we are. Okay. So I accidentally shut down my chat. Okay. Life versus reality. I am Team Alice too. All right, man. Good. Yeah, it's gonna be a good competition. There are a lot of good content creators, free to play content creators on both sides, especially after last year's event. Like if you look at the big names that finished near the top of last year's event, you'll see they're pretty evenly distributed between the two teams. Hey, K-Man, good to see you, buddy. Logan, any goals for tonight? So, yeah, I haven't really dug into that yet, but I do have some goals for tonight. So, a couple of things here. One is that I am trying to put together good gear. I have very bad gear right now, and I have pieced together a little bit of gear today or the previous, like on day 3 I did. So I'll show you, like I've upgraded Athel's gear to this accuracy set, and then I replaced the boots here. So I had some pinpoint gear, but this gear was better. I needed this crit rate. I'm trying to get to 100% crit rate. I also want some kind of amulet on her because that's going to give me the bonus 10% speed here. So I want a pinpoint amulet on her. And then I think I'll be in a decent place. She's not built the way I would like her to be built. You can see she has almost no crit damage, but she's got enough accuracy for what I'm doing now to make sure that she lands her weaken on her A1, which is really important. Wukong got a little bit of a switch up. You can see he's at 90% crit right now, but he's got some accuracy so he can do his buff strip. He's running very fast at 179. I might actually slow him down. I'm not 100% sure. I need Ugo to be a lot faster. I put some perception gear on her. That was a recent addition. So she's a little bit tankier and a little bit faster and a little bit more accurate. She's not landing her debuffs very often, but she's got to go a lot faster because optimally I want her to land her decreased defense in arena and wave content before Sun Wukong and Athel go. Tagor's speed is much less important, so it doesn't really matter that I get him fast, but you can see he's still rocking the 1 and 2 star gear, so I would prefer to get him into some good gear. He doesn't need perception, like he doesn't have any debuffs, so I don't need to worry about that, and what his accuracy is. So maybe some resilience gear. If I have some, materials from the forge for resilience, that would give him a little more tankiness, and make his heals a little bit better because his heal is based on his max HP. So I want to boost his HP for several reasons. One being his heal is bigger, but then 2, his shield will also be bigger because he's wearing the shield set. And that shield set's been working for us. That's been good. But he needs much more HP, especially because this chest piece has flat attack as the main stat. If I could replace that piece, I would. And I think there is, let me see if there, I don't know if there's any other shield pieces yet. I don't think there are. I think those were all of the shield pieces. So I can't really replace those pieces yet. But if I could farm a chest plate and replace the chest plate, I would. And then, replace these 2 pieces with maybe resilience. Keep them around this speed. That's totally fine. Or even get them faster is totally fine. So those are my 4 main champions. I have leveled up Asaurus recently. I've been just building him up. I did it for yesterday's faction crypts, but I got so many copies of him, I decided to start booking him out. And you can see I'm already booked out the A1. So I'm going to book out the A2, and I'm just going to use him. He might become my campaign farmer. I might honestly focus Athel on other things and let him be the campaign farmer. So we'll have to see. I do have several level 30 chickens. This Armiger could be built. You can see I put 1 book into him. I had 1 copy of Armiger, so I decided maybe I'll start building him. And I also have a shield guard who's got 1 copy into him, and then I've got 2 satyrs here who for right now I'm just building for faction crypts, because today's faction crypt is skinwalkers, but I'm thinking about saving one of these for Fire Knight because he's got this quad hitter that decreases turn meter. And that could be so critical for higher levels of Fire Knight. So depending on how things unfold, I may actually be holding on to a copy of this guy. So I guess, the next goal would be to get Athel to 6 stars. She is already, got her masteries. So that's ready to go when she hits 6 stars. I am leaving 1 book off of her because there will be a mission coming that I need to fully book a rare champion, and when that comes, I'll use her to do it, but I don't want to do that beforehand. I have some epic tomes. I haven't decided if I'm going to put them on Ugo or Tagore. I'm leaning in the direction of Tagore, honestly, unless I happen to get another epic from somewhere, which I'm probably not likely to get, except for this epic. So I'm going to get a copy of this epic probably tonight, or at least tomorrow. And the question is, do I build her or not? I will definitely take her to 40, and I'll put her in some gear for the Knights Revenant faction crypt. Because she should help me get at least to stage 6, maybe through the first boss if I'm lucky. But I don't think so. I think probably just to stage 6. I'm not likely to build her. She's a very good champion. I have to decide if this increased defense and increased attack is worth it. And if I think that it is, then I might actually build her. But for right now, I don't think it's worth it. We'll have to see. The big thing here is the increased defense, actually not the increased attack. The increased attack is nice for arena and stuff like that, but the increased defense could actually synergize really well with Tagore and Ugo. Now I'd have 3 supports, a shield, a heal, another heal, a mini cleanse, an increased defense, a second revive in case heals on Sabbatha's A1. And then I could replace Sun Wukong in the clan boss team, pull him out, go with just Athel and Outlaw Monk for now, but eventually, hopefully, somebody like Frozen Banshee or, maybe an HP burner if I pull like a Selenia or somebody, a Frenzy, somebody who's got an HP burn or a poison, then they could go in that spot, and I could go really tanky even though I don't have ally protect. That wouldn't be too bad. You can see my Outlaw Monk is in my Relentless gear, and he's got decent accuracy to land his abilities, but he's slow because this perception piece is defense. So if I could get this speed and get him up to like 150, 160, that would be a much better speed. And he's eventually going to be a chicken, but I might take him all the way up to 50. I might take him to 5 stars and 50 just because he's my best clan boss damage dealer right now. And so I'm probably going to live with that for a little bit. So that's the recap. I hope you caught most of it. If not, you could always rewind and look at it. And that's where we stand. Little F. Joe, good morning. Good morning. Life versus reality. I'm a total noob. That's why I keep watching your videos. Hopefully I'll get better soon. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's how I got better, right? I watched tons of videos. And I also experimented a lot. Whoop. Come on. My camera likes going out of focus for some reason. This is a new thing that it's been doing. All right, let me get that fixed. It's just like the last 6 weeks or so that's been happening. But yeah, I watched a lot of videos. I experimented on my account. I played a lot of accounts. This is probably, I'm over 20 accounts now, maybe like 23, 25 accounts. So I made a lot of mistakes on those accounts, and I messed around and try to find out what worked. So hopefully all of that experience and all of those mistakes could go into my videos to potentially save you from making the same mistake. Get a little bit more value out of your account. Hey, Frank, that's awesome. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you're here, and welcome to Raid. You pulled the Rotos. Of course you did. Is what on each hits? Caveman, I'm sorry. I missed when that question came in. What's on each hit? Or were we talking about Athel? Athel's weaken. Good morning, Loki. Good to see you. You think people put too much focus on clan boss in an early game? The rewards aren't really good until like Nightmare Clan Boss. So the goal of clan boss, and that reminds me, I should probably burn a key. I have a little bit of time. But first of all, the rewards are not bad here. You've got a chance for ancient shards. You get gear, and the gear is decent, right? You get, really, you want immortal gear, but also the cruel set is really nice as well. And you get your chance at books. You get a little bit of silver. These are all resources that you want. So it's not so matter so much a matter of putting a focus on it as just making sure that you can hit certain benchmarks and that your clan boss isn't lagging behind. You get up to the second, difficulty, you've got a chance for void shards, which are incredibly important, and, gems here. And again, the gear gets a little bit better. Once you get up to hard, which is just the third boss, right? This is not a crazy amount of progression. Again, everything gets a little bit better. The chances for the shards are a little bit higher. Now you're getting epic tomes here, which is really important. Once you get to brutal, you've got a chance to get. No, okay, so brutal doesn't. I thought you got a chance at legendary skill tome, but I guess that doesn't happen until nightmare. But so here, if you're clearing the top 2 brutal chests, let's say, and the top 2 hard chests, right? Like you got a lot of chances at void shards and ancient shards. Those are really important, and getting these epic tomes are really important for a mid game player as well, like an early mid game player. So I think what every player's goal should be is to get to nightmare in a reasonable amount of time. Don't hamstring your account in other ways. Like, don't only level up champions for clan boss. Don't only focus on those champions. What I have found is that if you build a good 5 champion dungeon team, that's a pretty good starter clan boss team. So if you're trying to beat Dragon or you're trying to beat Spider and you've put together 5 champions that can do it, they're probably going to get you to at least hard clan boss, like eventually with some decent gear. And then you can worry about like somewhere down the line picking a champion that can specifically improve your clan boss team. It's good to have a clan boss damage dealer. If you pull a Frozen Banshee, if you pull any poisoner, really. I mean, there are all sorts of sort of decent poisoners that could be good mid-game clan boss damage dealers. HP burners, HP burn activation is really good. You could certainly go with direct damage. Sometimes you get a champion like a Mishinaki or something who brings a little bit of everything, that decreased defense, that HP burn, the extra attacks. So it depends. Like, are you bringing in a rare, an epic, a legendary? What are you doing? And if you happen to pull like a top tier clan boss legendary right away, then yes, then you start saying, okay, well, maybe I'm going to invest more in clan boss because I have the champion to do it with, But otherwise, I think your best bet is to spend time doing everything. You want to hit every area of the game and get all of the resources. You want to concentrate on faction crypts. You want to concentrate on dungeons. You want to concentrate on campaign. You want to get in the arena. You really need to get in the arena. In fact, I'm going to get in the arena right now. Oh, I dropped down to silver too. All right, so I'm sort of lacking here in arena right now. That's why I just put in the 1-man defense. That's right. I was trying to drop down a little bit. I think that's what it was. But yeah, so I'm a little bit lacking because I don't have the gear. I don't have the speed right now. And so I need to improve my gear. That's really the goal for tonight or for this server day. And what I'm going to do in order to do that is focus on faction crypts and focus on the pinpoint dungeon, I think. And then I'm just going to try to get this done, defeat 50 champions in Classic Arena. And then I'm just going to follow the track, as much as I can. So I'm hoping to do this tonight, but I might not be able to do it because I'm only going to be streaming for probably 2.5 hours. And I don't know that I'll get enough. I only need 5 wins, but it's hard to find 5 good teams to take on, right? All right, we just had chat just jumped. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not usually on at this hour, but I thought, a lot of people have been requesting another live stream because they enjoyed the first one about the free-to-play account so much, and I'm not doing a ton of videos about this account. I think a lot of the other content creators are, and people are curious about my account because I'm a free-to-play content creator, and a lot of people know me for that, so they want to see, they want to measure my account against everybody else, I think. So thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it. The sadder decreases turn meter on every hit. Yeah. Click the like button, subscribe and share. Just do it. I appreciate the shout out. Hey, Cole, I'm in the same clan as you for the challenge. Are you planning on staying in the clan or switching? I think what they're trying to do is get one Alice clan and one Queen of Hearts clan. I think that's the goal, to eventually consolidate us into 2 clans. I heard rumblings about that. I was watching YST stream earlier tonight, and HH jumped in for a little while, and they were talking about that. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. So if that happens, obviously we'll all need to leave the clan. Otherwise, I'll stick around as long as it's advantageous and people are pushing. If not, I'll find a Cold Red Plays clan to join. No, man. I see you have embraced the sleep deprivation of fatherhood. Good for you. Yeah, I'm a night owl anyway, but I am trying to move towards an earlier schedule because this week my wife goes back to work. Finally, it's been a long time coming. Her recovery's been slow, but she's doing much, much better, although she's been sick recently, which is, we've all been sick. But yeah, so she's going back on Friday, and that means Friday I get the baby in the morning. And so that'll be good. So I have to get up at like 6:30 or something. And normally I get up like 9:30, 10 because I work later. You know, I work until 7 or 8 p.m. So yeah, I'm slowly switching my sleep schedule this week. I've been going to bed a half an hour earlier every night. So really, I'm supposed to be going to bed around 1:30 tonight, but it'll probably be 2. So I'm probably going to end the stream around 1:30. I'm going to try to move every other day forward. Thoughts on Volcanos? Not really. I mean, is he good? Yeah, he's crazy good. But I don't have him. I don't have him on any accounts. I just come up against him in arena, and he's a pain in the butt. But he's strong. He's strong. Hey, Tom, good to see you. All right, so let's actually play the game a little bit. And let's start clicking things that work. Okay, so I do want to see if there's an arena team that I can take on. So my arena team, this one might work. That's very similar to my arena team. Got the Taragi the Frog instead. This is a 5-star Ugo. The powers, I've got the power advantage. I think I could take this on. But again, I think, my gear's not good and I'm very slow. So potentially that could be a problem. And the question is, do I do the buff strip now or do I wait for the buffs to come out? Because it's a block buffs, right? So I think do the block buffs. That did no damage. That's not a good sign. Let's see if we can. I think I'm in trouble. All right, let's go ahead and I guess we'll try to delay Athel a little bit. Maybe I'll make myself smaller. You can see more screen. All right, let's go ahead and do this. We might get Taragi here. Yep. This is what it's been coming down to lately is my nuker against their nuker. It's kind of a matter of speed and damage. So like, oh, that helped. That actually is going to help that she's still, let's see. Yeah, because now that was the target instead of me. But this is going to be tricky. Probably going to lose this one. Yep. Very close. And that's what's been happening lately. I'm that close every time. And as a result, I just haven't been able to complete this mission. So I've been finding like one-man defenses, which are great for me to win medals, but it doesn't actually help me because the mission requires me to kill champions, and then I'm only killing one champion. So I think realistically what I need to do is improve my gear. War mating would crush a team like that? Maybe. Am I done with the sewers? No. No, because if you go to the challenges, artifacts, I still have to get all these things from the sewers, which are so annoying. So I'm putting that on hold until I get into Brutal campaign, because I'm close on Brutal campaign. I just started Brutal campaign. Oh, I'm actually, I forgot. I'm further than I thought I was. Yeah, so I could do this in brutal. That wouldn't be so bad. I don't think it has to be normal, does it? Just win 2 or clear stage. No, it has to be on normal. I have to do it on normal. I think I made that mistake last year. It has to be on normal, which is irritating. But for right now, I think I want to jump in here. And what I just really need is a banner for Athel. Not a banner, I'm sorry, an amulet. If I could get an amulet for Athel, that would be really valuable. Or if I could get... yeah, I could also... I guess I could focus on the potion keep, but... I don't want to put too much energy that isn't getting me chickens, you know? And, but I really need good gear. And I guess the other option would be, if I don't want to burn energy, go into faction crypts. But usually I like to do faction crypts at the end of the 24-hour server day. So I do faction crypts like an hour before server reset, because then I have all of the gains that I've made that day. So for instance, if we look here, like this is decent. But if I turn these into 2 3-star chickens and I get another couple of skinwalkers, it's more likely that I can push further. You know, and same thing, like this is probably not going to improve much today. I think I'm pretty much maxed out unless I get better gear on Athel. So again, I want to give myself the 24-hour clock, you know, as much of it as possible to get that better gear. So I think right now I'm just going to go into the dungeon. And this is this is less efficient than I normally would like, but it is a place where I can get really good gear. And what I need an amulet on Athel. And if I can get an amulet that's crit damage, which is great, with accuracy, that would be perfect. Because then I would get speed, crit damage, and accuracy all from the same piece. But the main stat matters less than just that it's a pinpoint piece, because I'm going to get that 10% speed. If I could get some additional stats, if it's attack, that'll give me more damage. If I get HP, that'll give me more tankiness. So really anything that's just Sacred Order amulet would be huge. And if I can get regular pinpoint gear, actual gear pieces that go on my champions, then that could also be helpful. So like this 4-star piece with speed and HP, that's perfect. That's going to go on somebody at some point soon. This piece can be sold for silver. So if I can get a few more of these pieces, that could be really valuable. Maybe that'll go on Wukong, or maybe that'll go on Ugo, probably Ugo. And we'll think about that. All right. Yeah, the free-to-play challenge counts. Get to use Alice when we get her. Yes. We can use anybody. We can use anybody that we pull or collect in any way, except we can't spend money. Any luck on ascending Sun Wukong? I haven't really tried to do that. I could probably get him his 1st level of Ascension. I do want to get him his 3rd level of Ascension. But right now it's not super efficient to farm where I'm at, so I'm just kind of waiting to get better gear. And that's what we're going to do. Armenian God, you joined the free-to-play challenge today. Congrats. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. Just buy a pack. Yeah, just buy a pack. Can you finish the Arbiter quest and get her early under level 30? Under level 30 of an account? No. No, there's no way to do that. You will level up your account too fast. There's no way you can get Arbiter that quickly and not level up your account. But you can get her very quickly. Speed? No. Attack. I'm just going to sell those. Yeah, I'm just going to sell it. Sacred Order ring. That's good. That might even be better than the ring I have on her right now. I'll have to check that out because I think I have a 3-star ring on her. Let's do one more. It was kind of unplanned. I made a referral account for my main and ended up pulling Royal Huntsman on my 2nd Ancient. So I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah, there you go. That's a good pull. That's a good pull. Someone will pull a mythical. I mean, we have so many, you know, maybe one of the content creators will. We have almost 60 or 70 content creators, I think. And then, you know, we have 2,000 people participating. So I'm sure some people will pull mythicals during the event. All right, so this is going This is also going. Let's go grab some energy. I can't put too much energy into this, but I can put some. Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, it would be fun for that person, sure. I think, you know, I've talked to a few people about this now. We were talking about it on YST's stream. I like the rule set from last year better. Because I think by restricting legendaries, although that was frustrating at times, it mirrored a real free-to-play journey more closely, right? Some people get extremely lucky with their free-to-play accounts, and they pull crazy legendaries, and, you know, so you have, ooh, this is really nice. That's really nice. I wish it had speed as a substat, but it's got attack percentage and crit rate. Yeah, that could be really good 5-star. This is good, too. All right, we'll keep going. But yeah, you know, most free-to-play accounts, you don't get crazy pulls. You use your shards up early because you don't realize you should save them, and you get nothing for them, you know? You don't know who to invest in anyway, so sometimes you get epics, and you're like, oh, these aren't good champions because you think epics aren't good champions. Am I going to lose this one? No. Okay. But, you know, epics are great champions. There are tons of good epics. You know, and this year we have the free epics that we got, Ugo and Tagore. Plus, I've got Wukong. So I've got so many champions, I don't really need to invest in anybody else, like, for the time being. So, you know, the question is about Sabbatha, because one of the things I could do for Sabbatha is I could hold her for either a CVC, she's a fragment champion, I could hold her for a CVC, or I could hold her for the first champion chase during the next fusion. And then she's 350 points in a champion chase. She's a void epic. That's a lot of points, you know, that I'm going to need every point I can get for the next fusion. So I'm honestly thinking about holding Sabbatha the entire time, just for like another 3 weeks or whatever until the next fusion. That would be a lot of potential value I'm giving away by holding her, right? Because, like I said, she could get me into faction crypts, and I could do decently well with her in faction crypts, but I'm not thinking I can get past the first boss with her. Come on, be Sacred Order. Bannerlords, accuracy with speed. Bannerlords, I don't have a single good Bannerlord. HP, meh. No speed, no accuracy, no crit rate, no crit damage. That one's going away. This would have been, if this were Sacred Order, I'd be jumping up and down right now. All right, last one, I think. Last one. Hey, Cropcho, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, YSC had a lot of luck. Operton and Mad Hatter. You know, what are you going to do against that? Yeah. How's it going, Crop? You're crushing it, buddy. I'm not surprised you're up. You're probably playing 20 hours a day right now, aren't you? Pulling a great epic, you would get a better situation, but I pulled no great epics for the first 6 weeks of my account. I got Deacon Armstrong 6 weeks into my account, so 45, halfway in. That was my first really good epic pull, and that supercharged my account. Actually, it might have been 4 weeks in. It was the first 2 times Ancient Shard event, and I pulled, you know, whatever 35 shards I had saved. So you don't need great epics. Like, you don't need any great champions to do the right things in free-to-play. Like, free-to-play mentalities, free-to-play strategies, philosophies work regardless of what your roster is. Even if you have absolutely awful champions, you can do the right things and put yourself into the proper situation to go out and get good champions. If I can complete the first fusion, and the first fusion is a very good champion, I'm going to start building that champion. So even if I pulled other legendary, if I pulled Operton Clanfather, and I'm trying to level up Sun Wukong and Operton Clanfather and Alice, what resources are going to be left for that fusion? Not much. So if your free-to-play account is awful in terms of luck for the first 6 months, you still get High Katoon at 30 days. You still get Seal of the Drakes at 180 days. You still have 6 fusions, probably 5 fusions, to have opportunities to pick 1 or 2 of those and go after them and get them, right? You still have all the farmable champions that you can get, whether that's, rares that you get from campaign, or you pursue Yannicka or Karl in the clan shop, or you go after Drexthar, or you go after Raz and Scarhide. There are champions that you can get, you can build around. You literally, people do challenges that are like rares only or uncommons only and still do great in the game. You don't need you don't need ridiculous pulls to be successful. It helps. It makes life easier, but you don't really need it. Yeah. Oops. Already did that. Okay, we should be leveling up relatively soon. I'm gonna do a few more of these. I really need like a couple of pieces of good gear. I got 1 or 2 good pieces already. What I really need is that amulet for Athel. Hey, prime time yaps. Welcome to Barbarian. The horde grows. All right, man. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Sleep is important, Crop. Yes, it is. VOD, if you wanted to do this competition in a fair way, which measures the knowledge and skill, then all had to use rares and below. You're the 34-day Arbiter record holder. Yeah, all right. Awesome, dude. I haven't talked to you in a long time. That was an impressive that was an impressive feat, definitely. I remember being shocked by that. That was a while ago now. But welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. I don't know that it has to be rare and below. I think you could just say any freely gained champions, but you can't use sacred shards or something. You could do that. There are a lot of different ways to do it. But I think the limitation last year definitely ended up giving us a better measure of which content creators were strong at free to play. Even within 90 days, we were doing things we shouldn't be doing on free to play accounts. But that reduced that crazy luck of pulling, somebody pulling 5 legendaries in the first month, or pulling 2 a Duchess and a Kymar in the first month. So if you get rid of those possibilities, then you're pushing everybody a little bit closer together in terms of the spectrum of luck. And that just means that skill is going to play a larger role in success. Luck will still play a role. You can't eliminate luck, but you can reduce luck's impact. And I think that's what we did last year. This year, we're just letting luck have free reign. And as a result, a lot of people are going YOLO, which is not the way to run a free-to-play account. It's a way to run a challenge account, but it's not a way to win a free-to-play account. And as much as we've heard all of these stories about people pulling crazy, champions, getting 2 and 3 legendaries and getting Yumiko and Newt and, Harima and stuff, we're not hearing from all of those content creators who pulled their shards and got zilch. I am a little bit, because I'm getting it in the comments. Some people are like, oh yeah, I pulled every shard and I didn't get a single usable epic. That's the more common experience when you YOLO. I really hate that we're getting days, except it gets me silver. Even good days pieces, I don't want to get locked into. That's just a trap. That's just a trap. Another content creator beat Ultra Nightmare using only rares and permanently free champs. That's very cool. Hey, Primetime. Oh, well, you already did that. Hey, Primetime. You signed up for Barbarians. I said hello, and then I went back and read above, and you were like, hey. I was like, oh. Gaijin, you pulled a Yumiko and a Sylph. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I do kind of hate you. No, I don't. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to go again. Jack Hawkins, hope everybody's doing well. Thank you, Jack. Would you use Painkeeper and Cold Heart in a 2x Man-Eater Clan Boss team? Not if I didn't have to. I mean, if you have a 2x Man-Eater Clan Boss team, you should just If you do the slow one where it's like, it's just, you don't need a speed boost or anything like that, then you can fit 3 damage dealers in. And Cold Heart's an okay damage dealer, but you probably will have better options at some point. Beautiful. Beautiful piece of gear along with that other piece. Was the other piece also a helmet? Or was it a shield? What was that? Was it a chest? What was it? It was a gauntlet. So I've got the gauntlet and now the helmet. So these 2 pieces can go on somebody. And the two pinpoint pieces could go on somebody. Can't go on the same person though. You accidentally pulled your Alice tonight, as opposed to waiting for the CVC. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So you're not participating in the challenge then because you rolled your account a day or 2 before the challenge started. Gotcha. Or this is your main account. It's your main account. Gotcha. I also pulled my Alice on my main account. I made a video and I forgot and I just logged in and it came in. I was like, should I just not do this? And then I did it anyway. It's like CVC is going to be, yeah, that would have been nice. So I made the same mistake. I didn't even realize I made the same mistake until you just said it. You don't want to brag or anything, but you did get a Shatterbones. All right, Leslie B. You can brag. Go ahead. It's all right. Do I have a lifesteal weapon? I do. It's not good. Actually, it's not awful, but it's, I don't have a replacement for, like, I don't have another accuracy piece that would go here. But you're saying I could put the crit rate stuff on. I gotcha. And then, yeah, I might be able to do that. That's actually not a bad idea. With only rares and shield guard and 68, you're a beast, man. You're a beast. You're crazy. All right, I think I'm gonna run this energy down. That's gonna give me what? No, I already ran the energy down. Okay, so let's look at rebuilding champions. So potentially, if we're looking at Athel, we could do this weapon, which gives me speed and accuracy. I'm going to be giving away 4% crit rate, but that's not too bad. I'm going to be giving away accuracy, which is a bit more, but then in the crit damage, I could use, oh, I also have this one. This is 5-star though. So I could use this and then this. Now this is going to give me an additional 42 crit damage. So that would get me up to 89. And then I would have to get the rest from this. So I would need to roll twice on the crit rate in order to make this work. Because this has no crit rate on. Well, let's roll it and see. If I hit double crit rate, then we're on. If not, then we do something else. Okay. So it could also go on to Wukong. And then potentially I swap this chess piece out. Do I have a good chess piece in perception right now? I have this one, which has resistance and a little bit of crit damage and speed and accuracy. It's not bad, but that's my only one that I could swap out. Which I guess going from accuracy to resistance isn't like the worst thing in the world, but I need accuracy and I don't need resistance. So maybe I need to get another perception chess piece before I could make that swap. And I think the crit damage has to go on one of these 2 champions. I mean, I could save it for Alice, you know. I could save it for Alice. It's not awful on Saurus, but if I did that, I would have to find another immortal. I'd have to find an immortal boot. And I don't think I have any speed boots in immortal. I don't have any boots in Immortal. That's awesome, Jack. Yeah, Sacred Order is a good one to go with. How important is accuracy to Alice? It is important to Alice. So Alice has this chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target takes accuracy. And then this increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 2 turns takes accuracy. So both of those skills require accuracy. This one takes no accuracy, but the first 2 do. So relatively important if you want to use her as a lockout champion. Okay, so let's look at the Forge. What about resilience? I could roll up some resilience pieces. I think all my perception is rolled, yeah. So, but I can get more materials today. So maybe we'll roll up some resilience, see if we can get either Tagore or Ugo into some better pieces here. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to sell anything that's... Ooh, this is nice. 5-star speed and defense. I'll hold on to that for a second. I'll hold on to that for a second. That's good. Speed and HP. Attack percentage boots are gone. Accuracy and HP, maybe. Resistance. Defense. Flat defense. All right, so this piece is good, and this piece is good. Weapon and helmet. Let's do one more. Do we have one more? Oh, that was all of our... That's all of our resilience. Okay. Okay. So let's go see if that's going to help out Ugo or Tagore at all. So Tagore needs these 2 pieces. And I don't have anything for those 2 pieces. I mean, I have this defense weapon, which is pretty good. But honestly, it doesn't belong on anybody on my roster right now. And I also don't have anything to pair with it other than... Well, I could pair it with this, I guess. That's not bad. Why don't I put those on Ethel? Those would go in this spot. In that spot. And I'm going to get an additional... That's 21% there, right? Which would take me up to 85, which at least gets me over the 85 mark for her. I don't lose any attack, really. Just a tiny bit of attack. She gets a lot tankier, which actually makes, like, the arena battles a little bit better. But I lose that 40 accuracy. You know, the other option is to put it on Shield Guard eventually, which is sort of what I'm thinking about doing. Right? Do this on Shield Guard and this on Shield Guard. And then maybe put 4 pieces of lifesteal on him. I still have this piece, which is a decent piece. But right now it doesn't belong on anybody because I don't have enough crit rate. I think Sigmund is a good call, MK. I think it'll be very nice. Elton John flashbacks with all the talk of Alice. Yeah, you're showing your age with that comment. And I'm showing my age by understanding what you're talking about. I really need some good boots. Really need some good boots. All right, let's just see for a second. So if I do this, not this one, not that. Fitting room, thank you. Try on. Do this and that. That's what we said. We had, yeah. I'm going to get 42. That takes us up to 93. And yeah, we're still shy. But that's not bad. If I pulled an Inquisitor, would I prioritize him on this account? No. I don't think so. Not right away. I would take him to 40. I would put him in decent gear, and I would throw him in the event dungeon and in Hydra. So he would play. But I think I probably wouldn't prioritize him till like the 80-day mark, and then I would probably prioritize him to try to squeeze every last point I could out of everything. But I'm not sure, because it depends on what champions you're putting around him. He's a very good damage dealer. He's Void Affinity, so he doesn't weak hit, and he has that, that A2, which is super strong. I mean, this ignores defense. For each buff on this champion, if you can get 3 buffs on this champion, increase attack, increase crit rate, increase crit damage. Ignore 100% defense, have all those extra things, hit really hard. No weak hits because he's Void Affinity. You can crush stuff with Shamail. And honestly, you don't have to book him. So it's like he's worth leveling up and using. Now, here's the thing. If you have Ugo and you have Shamail on this account because you got Ugo for free, that's the foundation of a Hydra team. If you happen to go like I did with Wukong, like you also have that if you want. But, you could just you don't have to go Wukong. I'm just saying that's like another thing. So now you need to find that provoker, right? If you could just find that provoker or put a couple of champions in provoke sets, get that hex. I think Alice is going to be decent in Hydra. I think she's going to be decent in Hydra. I think this ability, this A2 is going to hit really hard. And if you use her to nuke out heads, then potentially get another pop on another head. I think this is a decent skill. Yeah, she's not awesome for Hydra, but I think she's going to be decent for Hydra. We'll have to see. Izzo is a free 2-turn provoker you get for free, right? Yeah, although we won't get him for a little while because we have to get Alice first and finish that, I think, before we're going to get him. And I mean, I never really use him for anything, but potentially you're right. He could be used in where is it? So this is a 4-turn provoke. Grants an extra turn. So not a 2-turn provoke. Oh, it provokes for 2 turns is what you're saying. Gotcha. On a 4-turn cooldown with an extra turn mechanic. Yeah, so could be worthwhile. This year is a lot better than last year. So I mean, Kim, it's like maybe we'll get improvements over the course of the next year, but for right now, this feels pretty good. There's still problems with the early game. Of course there are. But yeah. So I'm going to be saving that monthly energy for a while. This energy is only got 6 days. So the question is, do I want to burn that right now? Oh, I wonder if I can put in a new promo code. I think I can put in a new. No, I think I put one in this afternoon. Let me check. Yeah, I got 11 hours for a promo code. Okay. Hey, Scott. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Heads don't die in Hydra, so you don't think it'll proc? That's annoying. Yeah, I gotta grab my energy. I grab this energy. I'm going to be getting more energy as soon as I'm at 100. That's what I was trying to get to kind of before I did this, but whatever. That's okay. Let's go back into this dungeon. I'm just gonna do I'm just gonna do 5 runs. Let's see what we get. Maybe we'll get something good. Yeah. Hey, Demise, good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's 500 energy regardless. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like doing a refill. That's my point. Now, I worked on my main account tonight before I got here, so Chimera unlocked. That's not. Yeah, I don't care about that. All right, maybe if this is speed with crit rate substat, that could be a really nice boot. That's what I need. I need speed boots in perception. In speed, I have a few, but I could use like a 4-star. In pinpoint, I have 1 3-star speed boot, but I could use a 4-star speed boot or a 5-star speed boot. And even accuracy would be okay. I think I have a 3-star speed boot and accuracy. But I really need some 4 and 5-star speed boots. And pinpoint and perception would be those would be my sets of choice. But even lifesteal would be great. I'm not going to get those here. But so crit damage would be okay too. Crit damage, but here I can get pinpoint and accuracy and crit damage. So those are all good. You've been running 10 runs at a time on this one. The next round is nuts. I don't know what that means. What next round? How XP account XP gains work. Yeah, that's the other thing. I should be doing more campaign, because campaign gives you the most XP. All you have to do is, there is an XP bar actually. I forget. It's been a really long time since I've looked at that, but generally, like, if you do anything that gives your characters XP, you gain XP for your account. But campaign is the best ratio. The gear this year is a slog unless you crafted viable gear. Yeah. Yeah, the static life steal gear that we typically get is so much better and so much more helpful because the substats are so good. It sets you up to gear your starter champion perfectly on day 4. You know, so, and then if you want, you can always swap out for the 5-star weapon on day 6 or whatever it is, or day 7. Do you mean stage 10? Is that what's messing with me? You're calling it round and it's stages, like the dungeon stages. The rounds are like when you have, let's say, like dragon, you go through 3 rounds. The dragon is the 3rd round. But the stage is how difficult the boss is that you're fighting and what your rewards. Okay, yeah, that's what was confusing me. You were mixing round, and that's fine. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't care about that. Don't care about that. What is this? That's good. Speed, at least, there in 5-star. Attack percentage boots. Defense percentage boots. Accuracy, crit rate, crit damage is not bad. That's unfortunate. That's nice, though. That's not bad. I can use that on somebody. Let's go back and look at Ugo here. So what if we did this? See if there's anything better. I don't think there is. We did this on her. And then maybe speed boots. Do we have speed boots? I think we have 3-star speed boots. We have those 3-star speed boots. Or anything else that's good. That's not bad. We could do that one. That would be a significant improvement in her speed and accuracy. We'll end up with more defense. Yeah, let's roll this up. Let's see how well we do here. Hopefully we get at least 1 roll, if not 2, into speed. I mean, the attack actually plays on her a little bit because she does damage based on attack. But that's not too shabby. So now what are we ending up with? We've got 143 speed. We got 93 accuracy. 100. Yeah, okay. 1300. We lost a little bit of HP because we're getting out of the HP set. But that's a definite improvement. What we really need to do is get out of these boots. That's not too bad. Do we have anything in the life set in terms of boots that are better? We have these. Let's see. Is anybody wearing light boots that are speed? All right, so let's look for speed boots. We have those. We have these. We have those. That's not awful. We have this as well. I would probably go for this, but we need a helmet as well. So let's just look at those. And let's see if we find anything usable here. Not too bad. What about... And what was the third one? The boots that we were looking at? I think that was... No, there was this. It's actually decent. I'm wondering if I should put the retaliation on... Actually, no, it doesn't have crit. If we did this and maybe this, now we're up to 157, giving away a lot of HP, but we're going to pick up a lot of speed here. So let's go up to 12. Now we're at 173, which is really much better. Only 90 accuracy though, which is irritating. All right, so that's not a bad thing. I could have gone the accuracy trend. Oh, why did I go this route? So this little heal? 20% of her max HP. Okay. That's why. So how fast is Wukong now? 179. But Ugo is at 173, which is definitely faster than Athel. So we'll at least get that that drop defense out there. It's not too bad. See you, Primetime. Have a good one. Where is Alice going to be used? I'm thinking of making her my second 60 as well. And she's definitely going in arena. She's definitely going to go into dungeon fights. Any wave content, she's going to be good in wave content. But arena is going to be her place. I'll use her everywhere. I'll use her everywhere. Definitely going to go in. Probably go in Ice Golem. Golem. Do I focus more on sets or stats? I always focus on sets and stats at the same time because sets are stats. And people who say stats over sets are simplifying it too much. That's, you know. You can go for stats, but sets are stats. And sets are so many stats early game, especially when you're talking about speed, or you're talking about accuracy. Like a single set of accuracy gear gives you 40, even if it's 2-star gear or 3-star gear, right? And you're not getting a lot of stats from those gear, from the gear itself, from the main stat or the substats. So that 40 accuracy represents a huge percentage of the benefit of like 3-star accuracy gear. right? Same thing with perception. Same thing with, anything that gives flat stats. So yeah, I mean, you're find good sets, with good substats. But in certain situations, if you find the right stats, you get the right stats. So maybe you get like a 6-star critical rate gauntlet that doesn't match anything else, but it gives you 60% crit rate, and that just makes your life easier on a damage dealer. Then that's what you do. Blender comp for your arena with Ugo or defense break moving before your nuker. And focus on stats over sets right now. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody has their own approach. What are you talking about here with her A1? With Ugo? Why? First of all, she doesn't give you an ally attack, and her A1's not significant. So what's the goal of a blender with Ugo? Are you saying just to get the leech out there for your arena nuker to like heal off of? Hey, Drop. Or D-Rob. What's the best stage to farm spirit hosts? I'm trying to do that. It doesn't matter what stage. Just do any of them. Just do any of them. Whichever one gives you the most XP or has the most friendly affinity. Yeah, I'm getting bad stuff here right now. It's kind of frustrating. All right, let's do a little bit more here. Let's do 5. Actually, I'm not gonna use that auto. You're saying go for her decreased defense before the blender comp goes. Yeah, you want to decrease defense out there before your nukers go, sure. But you need an ally attacker for a blender. We don't have an ally attacker. It's like, so I love ally attack. I would very happily do that. Also, you generally want like AoE A1s. I have Saurus, but other than him, I don't have AoEs on my A1. When starting a new account, is it worth farming 6/6 brutal to get XP and speed gear? Or do you always go for 12/3 for XP? I farm 6/6 in brutal quite a bit. I also sometimes farm 6/7 in brutal quite a bit to get good speed gear. Ooh, amulet. Come on, amulet. Yeah. Nah. So close. Who is this? Sacred Order ring. Again, another 4-star. This is I'm getting all Sacred Order rings, but I needed the Sacred Order amulet. Yeah, I think 6/6 is a great place to farm speed boots. And you get a few 4 and 5-star speed boots, and that can really transform your account, can help you a ton in arena, but it also helps you push your dungeon levels. And if you don't have, like, if it's just a common and you don't have good substats on it, you just throw it on supports. You throw it on somebody who doesn't need crit rate, or even somebody who doesn't need accuracy. Like Tagore doesn't need accuracy. All he really needs is the speed, and if he happens to get like HP or defense, that just helps. That's not a bad piece. Crit rate's actually usable. So yeah, I think it's worthwhile. How much really depends on the gear that you're getting from other places and how many champions you need to speed up. Where's my first 6-star? I'm not waiting for Alice. I'm just slow rolling the 6-star. I don't care so much about rushing the 6-star. That's okay. That's not a bad piece. Yeah, a blender comp. So the term blender comp implies like a lot of things attacking simultaneously. That's the blender, right? And you generally want AoEs on your A1. So Bellower can be one champion in it, but you would need to activate Bellower with an ally attacker. So like on my main account, I have Cardiel. He's my main ally attacker, or Lady Mikage or Farrakhan the Fat, or whoever. And then you have like, I would have a Ray and a Skull Crown and, somebody else. And then you've got 3 AoE A1s that all hit the enemy. That's the blender. So yeah. Yeah, Jersey, I don't know what to tell you about. Like, I don't want to argue about the term. That is the way it's used in the community, and it has been for the 4 years that I've been playing Raid. I don't know how Ash uses it. I haven't heard him, but So you can definitely use Bellower. You can definitely use Bellower. And I'm probably going to go for Bellower, Bellower's code soon. I'm just saying, you said not really, not from what Ash refers to as blender comps. I'm saying that blender comps are that one thing. They require an ally attack. That's what activates the blender. So then you said not really. So I'm just saying. I don't like. I'm not saying that we're having a fight here. I'm just saying that I'm not interested in a debate about it because it's just a term. It would be like saying, an unkillable comp uses counterattack. Like, it's just not the right term. That's just the way the term is used. That is what the blender is. I have a newbie question. I have a lot of chickens. Should I only use them to level up my epics or rares? If you have a lot of chickens, you can do whatever you want with them. They're just replacing chickens that you would generate through like farming XP. So I would say, plan who you're trying to level and what star level you want to go to. Are you trying to get to 6? Or are you trying to get to 5? And then once you figure that out, then you can do the stuff that you need to do, in order to calculate where you're using your chickens. Jersey, I don't know what you're saying. I'm saying there's one definition for blender comp. That's it. There's one definition for blender comp. It's the definition everybody in the community uses. So either you misunderstood Ash or Ash misused it, which both are possible. So when you were talking to me about a blender comp, that's why I was confused, because I didn't understand how to get to a blender comp based on the definition of that term. That's all. That's it. Yeah, he's my main campaign farmer on my main account. I love Bellower. Dude, there's no need to go after Jersey. Jersey, I'm just clarifying. There's no need to go after Jersey. Jersey's not doing anything wrong. There's just a misunderstanding. Okay, so I appreciate that we clarified it so that everybody understands it. But that's it. That's it's done. Jersey's done. I'm done. We're good. Yeah, Bellower is just a great champion in a lot of content. And you can, if you get a Bellower, let's see if we can even see this here. Yeah, we can see. You want to probably put him in Nature's Bounty. Like, if you get a soul on him, because he puts out, I think it's 4 different debuffs, and 3 of them are one is a block active skills, I think, and the other 3 are decreased speed. What are his debuffs? But anyway, you can increase the value of them here. So Bellower's debuffs are, he has the lesser decreased speed. Is it the lesser decreased defense? And decreased attack. Yeah, so these would be improved to the larger version of decreased speed, decreased attack, and decreased defense. That's a very valuable blessing on him. It's not 100% chance. I think maxed out it's like a 60% chance or 75% chance or something. You can't improve block active skills because that's just what it is. And And then also in addition, because none of these are maxed out, except this one, I guess is. But this one is at an 80, no, it's a 75% chance, and this one is a 30% chance. When you put his masteries on, you want to put the sniper mastery on to get an additional 5% there for those. I don't know if it's a new account code. I've never used it before. It's not listed as a new account code, but it might be. Hey, Boom Skillet. Is Corrado a good combo with... I don't have Corrado. Corrado is a good arena nuker, I think, though, so... Champion progression. Would you leave Ugo Tagore at 40 and focus Kale to 60, or make them 50 to help push higher in campaign? Generally speaking, your best bet is to get a 60 first, and then level up, because that will speed up leveling up your other champion. When you can farm Brutal Campaign 12-3 easily. Now, if you can do that with a 50, then you're great. Then you got a 50. But the other reason you want to get to 6 stars is so when you can max out your masteries, and then you can get your War Master for clan boss and stuff. So there's still value in getting a 60, even if you can farm 12-3 Brutal at 50. But it's less of a rush. It's really up to you. I'm going to leave mine at 40. I know some people have leveled their Ugo to 50, but I'm going to leave mine at 40. Does Alice need to be booked? No. No, I mean, she will be good unbooked. I'm running Wukong unbooked. They're good. They're better booked. Like, this becomes a 100% chance. This gets a 100% chance and a cooldown plus extra damage. This gets extra damage and a cooldown. So it's like, yeah, she's way better booked. It is, I think, 10 books on her, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 books on her, which is actually a lot. I wish it were 10. I wish it were 10. So I don't know. I might book her. I might not. We'll have to see. By the way, Son's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hey, Artak. How much longer for the login for CVC? I think it's 3 a.m., but it might be 4 a.m. So it could be 3 hours and 15 minutes or 2 hours and 15 minutes. 3 hours and... Okay. So it's just before 4 a.m. for me. What am I trying to do here? I could start going... Yeah, let's go to campaign. Not brutal. Go to hard campaign. Let's farm this up a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll do this for now. Yeah, let's do that for a little bit. Kumar. Cole, is there any faster method for farming immortal essences from the Iron Twins dungeon? I'm currently stuck on 80 immortal essence missions of merit. Not that I know of. I mean, you can spend the gems to do 6 more keys. Typically I do that on Sundays because you get the better drop rates. Or not drop rates, I guess, but the larger amounts. But yeah, there's really not much else you can do. You actually meant a go first team. Yeah, no worries. Go first team is a good idea. That's what you want to do. Yeah. And the way to build a good go first team is generally with turn meter fill. And we don't have a turn meter filler like available to us through a promo code. We're going to have to wait to either pull one or get High Katuna 30 days. So last year we could go with we could go with Deacon Armstrong. And that promo code is no longer viable. If Deacon Armstrong had been available, I probably would have gone with him and not Sun Wukong. Because I think he's the most valuable epic in the game. I think he's the most valuable epic in the game from day one. Like I would rather have him than 95% of the champions in the game, including legendaries. And because, he's got that speed aura from day one, he's got the turn meter fill and the 100% drop defense, and I'm going to lose this battle. That sucks. And yeah, so he's super valuable. The leech on his A1 for clan boss is crazy good. Like, he's usable everywhere, and then you can use him in a unkillable clan boss speed tune later, or you can continue to use him in live arena, or just regular classic arena all the way up to gold 5. I use him. I'm using him right now in the new event dungeon. Like, he never stops being valuable, and he will just turbocharge an account. So if you pull a Deacon Armstrong in the first month, you're golden. You're set. That's the champion to invest in, and that's going to get you that go first team. But otherwise, we're going to probably have to wait for High Katoon, and then it'll be something like High Katoon into Ugo, so turn meter fill and speed boost into drop defense champion, and then put that into Wukong, who's got the buff strip, and then put that into the nuker. Athel will be the nuker. Now, what you would prefer is to have an increased attack champion, but Athel brings her own mini increased attack, so that's got you covered there, at least partially. Yeah, so if you have Deacon, you pull Ugo out of that comp, and you put in a second turn meter filler who gives you an increased attack, like a Gorgorab or a Seeker, or if you have Astrid or something, a legendary, you could do it, or Arbiter if you get her. And then you've got that perfect go first team: double turn meter fill, increase attack, decrease defense, buff strip, nuke. Boom. There is literally, that's like everything you need. That's everything you need, except if you could ignore Stone Skin. And if you need to ignore Stone Skin, you just make the nuker a bomb champion. Yeah, that's true. You're right. I could farm Diabolist. Is that her name? I have her, actually. I have a couple of copies of her. So she would give you turn meter fill and speed boost. Yes, that's true. That might be worth farming this time, actually. I appreciate you calling that out. Might be worth farming this time. I don't know. The novice tourney, it should, it's been done now for 24 hours and it's still here, so I think it's going to stick for 48 hours, which is annoying, which means we're going to miss CVC. Because I don't think we'll enter halfway through. Now, if your clan is got the CVC going, you might still get into it. I honestly don't know. But if you're in a clan like mine, which is like all people in the challenge, I don't think we're going to qualify. Yeah, it is frustrating. It is frustrating. I think that HellHades picks the start date based on what's best for his team, not necessarily what's going on in game. And I think last year we got hosed on something too, and it might have been the same thing, might have been CVC. So, you know, starting it on a Friday, you get to the Tuesday and you're like, you got to activate the novice tournament. Then it's 48 hours and it's 48 hours to fall off and you miss the CVC. So if he moved it to a Thursday, you know, that might be better for everybody, but it might not be better for his team, you know? So, but you could mention it to him, you know, just be like, hey, if we do this next year, could we do it like start it on a Thursday and not a Friday? I like uncommon champions in the shop, actually. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind if they mixed in some rare, so that would be cool. You just pulled your first epic on your free-to-play. It's Morag. Nice. Talk about ally attack champions. That's a very good one. I would love pulling Morag early on an account. She would be really fun to have as your carry, I think. Yeah, I think we were talking about this on YST's live stream. Would you rather pull an epic of your choice or the worst possible mythic champ? Let's actually put up that poll. I'm kind of curious as to see what people would say. So, let's do this. Now, I think it would be different if you're taking a challenge account versus a normal account, potentially, for some people at least. Right? Because there's the consideration that on a free-to-play account, you might never get a mythical. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could play for 3 years and never pull a mythical. So having any mythical might be just nice to have and might be valuable for your account. You know, even if it's the worst one in the game, you know. And there's always the possibility that they'll buff the worst mythical, right? So you could start with it, and then you're going to get an improved mythical later on. I mean, that's what happened with me and Mesamel, right? I pulled Mesamel, and she was okay. I mean, she was good, not on par with other mythicals, and then they buffed her. And I still think she's not on par with other mythicals, but she's very good compared to most champions now. But if you're on a challenge account, one, you're not going to be able to book out that mythical in 90 days. Forget about it. You're not even going to you're going to get like one book in 90 days. And then, you know, the value is just basically, is the worst mythical in the game going to carry your account? You know, is it going to add value to your account in a significant way? Or could you just pick an epic of your choice that like would match your starting lineup and give you the optimal epic start? You know, and I think it's an interesting question. I mean, I think for me, in a challenge account, I wouldn't bother with a mythical. If it was a non-challenge account, I might go mythical. I might. But I don't know who the worst mythical in the game is. I don't even know who that would be. So that's also part of the equation, right? Like, who do you think the worst mythical is? Is it the chicken? You know, like, if it is, then go look at that kit and then make your decision, you know? Most mythicals are fine without books. I think most mythicals are okay without books. That's true. But they all need specific books to be really powerful. Like the best form of the mythical is always at least partially booked, if not fully booked. Yeah, Siegfried does jokes. You got Artak? Yeah, Nathan. He is busted. He is going to be a hard carry. And you should lean heavily into him. There's very little content that champion can't do. What's tomorrow's faction? Sylvan and Dark Elves. I have Spirit Host. Kind of stuck in a middle ground here. I'm not really sure exactly what would be the best approach. Like, where should I put my energy in? Should I keep trying to get better gear in Event Dungeon? I'm only pushing stage 7. Should I wait until I can get to stage 10? Should I just go for, Spirit or Magic Affinity potions so that I could get my champions optimized? I mean, Ugo could use Ascension. Gonna take 16 of these things. And this speed is, this skill is useful, but it's not overwhelming. All right, so we need skinwalkers. I think we need skinwalkers. So where in campaign do skinwalkers drop? That's the question. I think here. That's Ogren. Here. Orc. Not Deadlands. That's Lizardman. That's okay. Skinwalkers drop anywhere? Here they are. So we've got Greybeard and Satyr here. Okay. So this is Durham Forest. So maybe we'll just grind some Durham Forest for a little bit. See if we can get a couple of Skinwalkers. Then we'll do the Skinwalkers faction crypt, try to get some more materials for the forge, and see if we can forge some perception boots or a chest piece, right? Because we need a perception chest piece, I think, for one of the swaps that we want to do. It's pretty close. Epic 46%, Mythic 54%. That's interesting. Yeah. But I do think it's an interesting question. Yeah. It's definitely, if you can get more stars on your faction crypts, that gets you rewards. Just helps, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can always go back and do it next week. But the question is, do I keep a copy of Satyr for the Fire Knight? And I struggled with Fire Knight a little bit because Athel's my only real multi-hitter, I think. Maybe Tagore has a double hit on his A1. Does he? I forget. Wukong, Ugo, and I think I was originally using War Priest. are all solo hitters. And yeah, it wasn't great. Fire Knight is the hardest dungeon early game, although Spider's also very hard early game. But eventually, you can solve all of them with the same champions, you know. I think Ice Golem becomes the hardest one. And then at endgame, hard mode 10, Fire Knight's the hardest again. You know, but getting to 20, actually, Ice Golem's not that bad, I guess. Ice Golem's just a pain. It's not that it's the hardest one, it's just that it's the most painful one, right? Because it takes the most, like, annoying... It gives you the most annoying dungeon run that also rewards you with the worst gear. It's like, that's a bad combo. My last collab with number one from last year, that's Cropcho, who was hanging out in the chat, so he might actually be here still, I think. Blew your mind in his accomplishments, especially with clearing crypts and getting Lydia so quickly. Yeah, that was impressive. And you know what's funny is we were very close in total points at the end there, and we had completely different approaches. You know, I concentrated everything into a very small, very potent roster, optimized as hard as I could, and then pushed everywhere in the game with like 8 champions. He built 15 60s, crushed faction crypts, went, you know, got his Lydia, did all this stuff, got his Arbiter. I don't think he got his Lydia in 90 days, but he eventually got his Lydia. But he got Arbiter in 90 days, you know, did all that stuff. And honestly, we were within like 6% of each other or something, you know, and both far and away ahead. Like the top 3 were very far away from everybody else. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely go check out his channel. If you're interested in like strategies that will work for this year's challenge, go to Cropcho's channel and just watch his free-to-play series from last year. Or watch mine. You know, I didn't do as many videos. I think he focused his entire like content production on the challenge, whereas I was doing just a few videos. But yeah, it's interesting to see that like you can succeed at free-to-play with different tactical approaches as long as your philosophical approach is still free-to-play sound, right? So maximizing the value of your resources. How you choose to do that can be different. There will be a lot of people in this challenge that push a lot of 60s, and it's not going to be the best use of resources for everybody. For some people, it'll benefit them greatly because of who they choose to 6-star and where they use them. But for other people, they're going to level up a bunch of mediocre champions because they're like, oh, well, this can solve this problem for me. Oh, this can solve this problem for me. And then they're going to be stuck with a really mediocre roster, and they've spread their resources too thin. And I saw that happen to a lot of content creators last year where they had really nice early gains because they had, you know, 3 or 4 good champions to build the 60, and they did it very fast. And then they kept like, oh, I got to get another 60. I got to get another 60. And so the quality of their 60s kept dropping and dropping because they weren't pulling more good champions. They were just, all right, I'm going to take Spirit Host to 60. Okay, I'm going to take Metal Shaper to 60. And it's like, well, that solved the one problem for you temporarily. And then as soon as you pull a decent epic or, you know, get a different solution that's more efficient or better, now that 60 is basically just a Faction Wars champion. And that's not super valuable, right? It's not going to push Doom Tower for you. It's not going to push Clan Boss for you. It's not going to push Hydra for you. It's not going to push the dungeons past, you know, a certain point for you. So I think that that's a mistake. I think saving your resources for opportune moments, and then getting a lot of value out of those resources is a really good free-to-play approach. If your roster unfolds in such a way that you have good champions to 6-star and you can push a big roster, then I think that can be a very valuable approach. But you really need the champions to do it. When I'm building a free-to-play account, not a challenge account, but just a free-to-play account, anytime I'm considering a 6-star champion, I always look at the long-term viability of that champion. How long will this champion be in frequent rotation in my roster? Will it be 60 days? Will it be 6 months? Will it be a year? Will it be all the way to endgame? And if I have a champion that is valuable at endgame and all the way there, I'm going to prioritize that champion over another champion who may provide a really good short-term solution for something. And I'll give you an example. So let's say I'm trying to solve I was going to say Bommel, but let's say I'm trying to solve the Frost Spider, right? And it's like, okay, I need an HP burn on that boss when it dies or it comes back to life, or I need a block revive. So a good champion to build for that would be Phoenix, right? Like I can build Phoenix and then have that block revive on the A1. He can potentially solve that problem for me. Another good champion might be Skrank, right? There's another epic who's a very good HP burner. Both of those champions are usable in many locations, right? Phoenix is a really good nuker. You can use him in a bunch of dungeons. You can use him as a block revive on the Ice Golem. You can use him in Arena to block revive Wukongs. And he's just a hard hitter, so you can find a lot of value. He also has a block buffs debuff, I believe. So he's giving you a lot of utility and a lot of value. Same thing with Skrank. Skrank hits really hard. He's got an AoE HP burn. You can use him as Spider. You can use him in Hydra. You can use him in Clan Boss if you need to use him there. So he's going to provide a lot of solutions for you in addition to that Frost Spider solution. A bad champion to build for that would be like, I think it's Luria. It's either Lua or Luria, right? Who has a block revive that you could probably use there and maybe in Ice Golem, right? But it's a little bit less reliable. She's not really good in a whole lot of places. Is she a decent solution for those two places? Yes. Are you going to use her against Hydra? No. Clan Boss? No. Arena? Maybe. I mean, if you have her built, you might stick her in Arena for a bit, but she's not really a great option there. And so it's like, yeah, okay, she's okay, right? But you don't play her at endgame. You don't use her later on, you know? And I think both Skrank and Phoenix would be used for a longer duration, and they have higher upside. So, you know, the option would be like, oh, well, then I just not build a champion to solve, you know, the Frost Spider? I'd be like, well, no, but if you can do it with a champion at 50, as opposed to taking him to 60, we could try that. If you can find an HP burn from a rare as opposed to an epic that you don't, you know, like have to spend epic books on, then I might do that instead. A really good way to like have an intermediate champion would be a champion that provides you value in the short term, who's really cheap to build and you can use for a decent amount of time, and then you can transition to like some Doom Tower secret rooms and faction crypts. And one good option for that would be like Frozen Banshee. Frozen Banshee is a very good clan boss damage dealer. She can hold her own for a decent amount of time. You can use her all the way up through Nightmare. You're not going to use her in Ultra Nightmare. You're probably not. You might start her in Ultra Nightmare and then transition to somebody else. So she's not going to be used at endgame, but she's a rare, right? She's really cheap to invest in, and she outperforms most epics in the role. So the short-term value for her is very high, and the investment is very low. That's a great way to 6-star a champion if you need to. Like if you're just like, well, I'm going to 6-star somebody else. Well, yeah, do it with Frozen Banshee. Don't 6-star Frozen Banshee if you have Ninja. Don't 6-star Frozen Banshee if you have, Whisper. Like, don't do that unless you can put them both in the same team and make it work. Because you don't need her for that. Like, yeah, she'll give you a little value in Dragon for a while, and then she's done. And then she's done. But she costs you almost nothing. So, I think people will level up legendaries sometimes who are very marginally better than the epic they have currently doing the job. And that's a big mistake because you're not getting a lot of value over replacement and you're spending a lot of resources to do it. And then those resources are gone when you pull that god tier, legendary from a shard, or you get that amazing, fusion that comes around, and then you don't have the books because you put them all on this mediocre legendary who was like, he's good, but how much better than your epic was? Not that much. That's why, like, I love my Genbo in Arena. He's an epic. And he was free to a lot of players. I pulled him from a shard. But he was free to a lot of players because he was an Amazon Prime reward. And it's like, he's void affinity. He ignores unkillable. He hits really hard. You can build him with 70% crit rate. And he doesn't take legendary tomes. And he does better than 75% of legendary nukers in Arena. And I mean, like, 75% of, there are like maybe 12 legendaries I would take over Genbo. Maybe. It's probably more like 9. But, and for a free-to-play account, like, to get that job done and just have it covered and never have to worry about it again. Like, my Gold 5 Arena nuker to this day is Genbo. And since getting Genbo, I have pulled Rotos. I have pulled Hefrak. I have pulled Candrafon. I have pulled other very good, very serviceable Arena nukers. And I haven't built them because I don't need them. I have a crazily good Genbo. Why? Like, Rotos doesn't really, like, it's more versatility to have a Rotos, but he doesn't do the job better. Candrafon can be built into different teams, but he doesn't necessarily do the job better. In fact, Gembo's, out of those 4 champions, Gembo's the best speed farming Arena nuker on that list. I would rather have him on a go first team and just speed farm, click, win, click, win, click, win. Genbo does that job better than the other 3 guys. And like, Hefrak's a better champion than Genbo is, right? Rotos is a better champion than Genbo is. And if you want to get into a high-end live arena, you don't want Genbo, you want Rotos, you want Hefrak, But on a free-to-play account, like, if I'm not 2 years into the game, I'd rather have Genbo. With your terrible luck, you have 3 Phoenixes and you're not able to do Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. Well, yeah, you're not going to. I mean, if you empower your Phoenix and get him to a +2, that's going to be a pretty strong Phoenix. I don't know that I'd necessarily use him in Clan Boss. Zaddy Colred, I'm in Cali and it's late here. Isn't it a school night for you? I don't know what that means. I'm not a school teacher. I don't teach in a school. I have taught in schools before, but I do not teach in a school. Gorlos Helma is a decent epic. He is. He's got 100%. I think, is it 100% AoE decreased defense as well? Plus he hits decently hard. He's a bit squishy, but he's a very good champion. Yeah, D-Rob. Genbo is amazing. Okay, so you pull Teox, right? That's, yeah, okay, you're going to replace, finally got an actual guy here. Let's start running him up. You have issues with distractions, like you got champs to build an unkillable clan boss team, so I'm blowing my resources on this team. I'm repurposing my starter Kale as a DPS. If you have a decent solution for something, building a new team for that solution should improve your outcomes significantly. And in most cases, I think people like to build the new shiny champion. So it is a distraction. You get a new champion. You're like, oh, this guy's really cool. And you just want to build him because he's a cool legendary. I've been like, oh, I've been waiting to pull my Trunda. Like, I got a Trunda. She's awesome. And it's like, well, you don't have the gear or the team to empower her in Hydra the way you would like to. and she's not really a great replacement for your Genbo in Arena. And you already have solutions for all the other places where you would use her anyway. And I was like, so why just go and build the Trunda? I'm not saying you can't build the Trunda. I'm saying slow down a little bit and see where the value is before you decide on 6-starring a legendary just because she's cool. I love Trunda. I would love to build a Trunda. I have 2 of them on my main account. I haven't built the second one really, but I don't really use her. I try to find Hydra teams to use her in, and I don't quite have the right setup to empower her, and so I don't use her that much. And I don't use her in Arena ever. And I kind of, regret the gear that's on her. Like, I would rather take that gear and put it onto somebody else that I use more frequently, So that's just the way my account has unfolded. There'll be other accounts where you pull a Trunda and you're like, I'm building her now. She's going to change my account. And judging how that happens for you on any account is part of the journey, right? Like, you got to get good at saying, this champion's going to help my account. And I think we all make mistakes. We all build champions under false pretenses, right? We build those champions where we're like, oh, I thought this champion was going to do something for me, and it's not doing anything for me, and I regret it. And sometimes later on, you'll get some value out of it. It's not uncommon for players, especially newer players, to build 2 or 3 starter champions because they hear oh, the starter champions are some of the best rares in the game, but you don't need 3 of them. There's no real purpose to have 3 of them. It's not a complete waste because you can use them in faction crypts and a couple of Doom Tower secret rooms, but you're probably expecting more value when you build your 2nd or 3rd starter champion. You're like, oh yeah, this is a great champion. I'm going to build this champion. It's going to but what does it end up doing for you? It's I already had Athel and then I built Kale, or vice versa. It's oh, you're going to use them in the same places and they're redundant. It's okay, Kale has poisons and Athel has an A1 weaken. Those are usable skills. They're both good champions. They're both going to help you in faction crypts, but they're not really going to move your account. Now, you put that 6-star instead of putting it into a 2nd starter champion and you put it into a War Maiden, let's say, if you need to drop defense, or you put it into an apothecary, that you pulled and you need the increased speed in the turn meter fill, or you put it, there are a bunch of other rares, Cold Heart, that would be more valuable. Even somebody like a Tree Shield Knot, or a Longsword Torix, or something that gives you something new, a champion that gives you something new for your roster, a new skill, an increased defense, an increased speed, a decreased speed, a weaken. Yeah, but something new and in a new role, that's more valuable. And still going to give you the same value in faction crypts that a 2nd starter champion would. So there's a whole art to building an account in terms of choosing your 6-star. It really is. There's an art to it. And it's there are a lot of different approaches you could use and still have it work, but you have to feel out what works for you and for the account that you're building, because every account is different. Every journey is different. And so what worked on your last free-to-play account may not work on your current free-to-play account. And if you try to shoehorn, you can try to force it, be I know that I built these 7 champions. It's well, what happens when you don't pull those 7 champions in a reasonable amount of time? You're I can do the whole game with these 7 champions. It's yeah, but you never pull number 5. You're as soon as I get my Geo, the whole game is solved. It's and then you like me, you don't pull a Geo for 3.5 years. It's well, now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do without your Geo? And you might have to replace that Geo with not 1 champion, but 5. You need one for Clan Boss, and you need one for Iron Twins, and you need one for Sand Devil. You need one for it's and so that changes the way you look at the champions that you do have. When you don't have a Geomancer, you look at Whisper differently. You look at, Artak differently. You look at whoever you happen to get differently, because you need to find solutions that don't include Geo. Hey, Ace. Good to see you. Is it a very early Takeover Tuesday? No, it's a very late live stream. And yeah, it's about coming to the end. And when I run out of this energy, I'll probably be done. I'm really hoping to pull one more Satyr or a gray beard here for the faction crypts, and then I'll do the faction crypts. I'll probably be done. You know what? I understand what you're saying, David, but I'm not surprised that people struggle with building champs because the game gives you no guidance. It gives you absolutely, and where it does give you guidance, it gives you the wrong guidance, right? Like you get challenges to build like champions in all attack percentage gear. That's not a good call for anybody. Not even bomb champions do you put like attack percentage boots on most of the time, right? So you have to watch content creators, or you have to do research. You have to have a Discord. You have to go to Reddit. You have to do something in order to understand how to build champions in this game, especially if you've never played another gacha game. If you played other games, you might have a leg up and understand a little bit more. But it's a complicated game, and the gearing is complex. And I'm not surprised that a lot of players get it wrong for a long time. And that's why I have a channel. That's honestly why I have a channel, because I think that answering those kinds of questions is valuable. And since the game isn't willing to do it, somebody has to do it. And it may as well be me. What am I in? Why am I getting so little XP? This is just brutal. Let me go check the store. If I can buy another Skinwalker, I'll do that instead. 10 minutes. Okay. Because I'm just looking at the XP here, and this is what? This is Durham Forest, right? So how much XP are we getting here from stage 6? Let me go to stage 3 and get some shield. Hey, Colred, I'm a new free-to-play player about 60 days in now, and also a new father as of the 23rd of December. Congratulations. Just want to say your content has helped me so much learning this game. Well, thank you. Thank you for saying so. Congratulations on the baby. I am right there. I was just talking to my wife today. Oh, there we go. We got the rare. Perfect. 3,330. Okay, I want to check that. And then what I was saying about the baby was I was just talking to my wife today about the baby and how the phases of like babyhood change so quickly. And he looks different than he looked 2 months ago, and he's doing different things than he was doing 3 weeks ago. And it's amazing, and it's wonderful, and it's overwhelming, and we love it. And it's simultaneously like, the really weird thing is when you have like a 6-month-old and you think to yourself, 6 months and 2 days ago, my life was very different. like 2 days before the baby was born was very different than, a few days after. And for me, like, I'm turning 50 this year. So it's like, I lived a very, very long life without a child. And then I think to myself, like 18 months ago, my wife wasn't even pregnant. Like, we were just thinking about having a baby. 7 years ago, I was still in my 40s and I didn't know my wife. Like, that's nuts. It's like, it's crazy to think that I lived that much of a life before I met my wife and had my kid, because now my entire life revolves around my wife and my kid. 5,900 XP. That's so much more XP. Holy cow. That is like almost 5,000 additional XP on the whole team. That is absolutely nuts. But congratulations and welcome to raid. This may be a stupid question. Does Geo do damage while running a block damage team? Yes. Yeah, if you have a block damage team and you have the block damage buff up, he still does his damage. Yes. Will you be on later for Takeover Tuesday? I will be, John Hodgson. Hope to see you there. One of your saved for later videos is my video on how to build champions. That's a good one. I have a couple there, but I think I know the one you're talking about. Crit rate, accuracy, and speed are the most relevant. Sometimes HP percentage or defense percentage is really important. Sometimes resistance, not rare, rarely. But that's about gear, right? As you get to 6-star gear, it gets easier to build speed, accuracy, and crit rate. As you build your Great Hall, it is easier to get the accuracy that you need. Like, that's there, plus the HP and defense and stuff like that. So there are all sorts of pathways to stats. You can get souls, that gives you more stats. You can get area bonuses that give you more stats. You can get relics now that give you more stats. So there are a lot of ways to get the stats that you need. But it takes time to accumulate all of them and to accumulate them at a high level and in the numbers you need. Your roster generally expands faster than your ability to collect good gear. So you got 4 kids, number 5 on the way. It's crazy how much they change. You're 27. You're 27 in 2 days, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. I enjoy hearing about your fatherhood here and there, man. Yeah, it's amazing. And I think, to me, what's funny, if you want to say this, is that you're expecting your 5th kid. I just had my first. And I'm technically old enough to be your father. In fact, you probably had kids at an age where I would, I'm probably the age of your father. And we're having kids around the same time, and that's just modern life, right? You can have kids and for men, I know it's different than for women, but I really didn't think I would be a father at this age. I thought I'd be a father at your age. That's when I planned to be a father, but it just didn't happen that way, and that's okay. I'm glad it happened the way it did. What are my honest opinions of the new market changes? I think it's good to consolidate everything in one place, especially the bazaar, which was really hard to find. I don't care so much about the soul market being there, whatever. That could have stayed in the in its old location. But it's nice to have everything in one spot. I have found that on my main account, I get opportunities at 5-star and 6-star epic and legendary gear pretty frequently. The prices are expensive in terms of silver, so you're not going to spend a lot of money there. I don't think the changes went far enough. I would have liked to see things like glyphs, brews, charms, maybe even things like, immortal soul stones or whatever. I would have liked to see a much wider variety of items in the shop. Even gems, it'd be cool if you could buy gems with silver and it would be at a decent return. You could turn around and sell, use the gems to get your silver back. Energy would be great if you could buy energy in the shop. That would be nice. I think it's an improvement. But like most improvements in Raid, they didn't go far enough and they didn't do it soon enough. So yeah, I don't love it, but it's not bad. Relic material, yeah, sure. You're 37 today and you have 4 kids. It's crazy to have a teenager. Yeah, I bet. I actually do really well with teenagers because, my whole career was built helping teenagers. I taught teenagers and young adults, and I work with younger kids too. My youngest students are typically 11 or 12. My oldest students have been 60. So I teach everybody from 11 up. But the largest percentage or the largest focus of my career has been on high school and college age students, undergraduate students. 6-star gloves that were over 7 million silver. Yeah, I mean, if you have a lot of silver, and they have the right substats, might be worth considering. I think the most expensive piece I've seen has been 4.9 million or something like that. And it was pretty good. I actually considered it. It was a 6-star, I think, epic chest in the speed set with speed as a substat. And the main stat was maybe HP or something. And it was decent, and I did think about buying it, and I ended up not pulling the trigger because I thought it was a little bit pricey, and also because it's on top of that 4.9 million silver, I would then have to spend the silver to roll it up, and if I missed, then it's like I just spent 5.5 million silver to sell it for 50,000 silver. So I don't love it. I don't love it. I think the prices are a little bit high. But sometimes, if you're looking for a particular piece of gear and you generate a lot of silver, I mean, if you use the silver hack, the silver trick to like build silver, then you might not be short of silver, and then it would feel like a good way to do it. I've only ever tried it once, and I got it to work, I guess, but it just felt very complicated, and I decided it's an exploit, and I don't use exploits. So that being said, I don't really consider that an exploit, because I kind of consider Player Am to be giant jerks. Like, I just don't like the way, and their approach to silver is exploitative. Like, they specifically make the game inconvenient in order to try to entice us to spend money. Like, they don't make a good game to try to get us to spend money. They make a game that's good but has broken parts, and you have to spend money to get past the broken parts. And like, that's just a dick move. So I kind of feel like the silver trick is a way to, kind of get back at them. And honestly, if it was a little bit less complicated, I would probably do it. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of have this knee-jerk reaction about exploits. I should probably revisit that, because it's so hard to generate silver as a free-to-play player. Yeah, the airplane mode trick thing, yeah. And you can do it on Player and Play as well. You just have to use you have to shut off your Wi-Fi and turn it back on. Oh, maybe the silver hack doesn't work anymore. I don't know. Did they change it? Did they fix it? I forgot to go into arena in between. Should have gone to arena, because I've been trying to do that mission for a while. And I just used like 700 energy without being on the next mission, which I kind of feel bad about, because potentially that could come back to bite me. Yeah, accessories are... I mean, that's why they cost more, right? That's why you can sell them for more. But it's a crapshoot. All right, I think I'm gonna get this guy to 20. We'll see what we do there. You just did the gear upgrading trick yesterday? Okay. One spent 8 million to upgrade one 6-star banner. Ouch. I don't think I've ever spent that much on any gear piece, but I could be wrong, because I don't always look. Sometimes I just have like 50 million silver and I just roll pieces, and then I get to the end and I'm like, holy cow, I spent 30 million silver. I really thought that would only take 20, but I don't know why I lost the extra 10 million. I don't know where it went, so I couldn't say specifically. I've definitely seen like amulets cost me like 5.6, 5.8 million before, but I don't think if I've gone over 6 million, I don't remember it. But it's certainly possible. What is this silver exploit? Yeah, you could probably find it in a lot of places. Have I ever done a video on it, son? I don't think so. I learned about it from HellHades, but basically there's a way where, like, when you're rolling up gear, you can disconnect from the Wi-Fi, or you put it into your phone into airplane mode. So you're disconnected from the game. But the game knows how many rolls it takes for you to successfully roll the next level of, of gear or whatever. And so what you can do is you count that. My understanding may be a little bit rusty, because it's been a couple of years since I looked at it. But what I understand is let's say it's going to roll 15 times before it successfully levels up that piece of gear. What you can do is basically you disconnect so it doesn't count those. Then you reconnect, it resets back to where you started from, and then you put those rolls into other gear. You know, so like automatic gear rolls that go up like from 1 to 4 or whatever. And then you use those up so that you get a level for all of those, and then on the 15th one you go back to your piece of gear and roll that up and you hit it on the first turn. And so as a result, you spend a lot less silver rolling up your gear because all of your rolls are effective. So you never end up like rolling 11 times and not leveling up a piece of gear. It's something like that. That's my understanding. But like I said, I've never done it, or I did it one time like 2 years ago when I heard about it, and I've never done it since. So maybe somebody else knows it better and can explain it better. Shadow Demon. Hi, Colred. Was hoping to get your advice. I'm on day 4, old account, and I'm not sure who should be your next 6-star. You have Theodore and Kale at 6. You have Theodore. Very nice. So who are the choices? Do I have a favorite content creator? It's a good question. I've had several over the years, I think. So I don't know that I have one favorite. I have different content creators I enjoy for different types of content. I would say that is probably the best answer I could give you. So I watch HellHades probably the most still because he gives me good news. Like, he gives me the raid news. I sometimes watch Nubs for the raid news as well, Nubkex. For like really interesting kind of meta breaking team comps and stuff, or meta changing team comps, I like Bronco. I like Tyraku, and I like Boozer. I think Boozer's focus on, you know, free to play team comps, like he theory crafts really well. I used to watch a lot of MTG Jedi for that, and honestly, I still like him as a theory crafter as well. But I think I probably replaced a lot of my MTG watch time with Boozer watch time. So, I just stopped into an MTG stream today, I think it was, or yesterday, because I hadn't stopped into one in a while, and he comes on the channel every once in a while and you know, watches my live streams and stuff. So I wanted to return the favor. And I really like him. He's a good guy. I've done a couple of collabs with him, and he's good. So he was one of my early favorites, actually. But there are two things that have happened since becoming a content creator. One is I actually have less time to watch videos, so I have to focus on very specific kinds of videos. And then the second thing is there are far more content creators now than there used to be. And so I try to throw views to more content creators. So even, you know, newer guys like Bront Cat Herder and I'm Roadblock, and you know, there's some really small content creators. I try to throw them a view or two every month. You know, and I think CC is one of them, and Felrouse is one I just discovered this week, and you know, so I try to do that. I love Ash, so if I'm just like, you know, I always check out Ash's videos in my feed, and he's one of my most consistent clicks. I think that Big Papa Drock has the most entertaining live stream in the game. He's got the best live stream. You have to appreciate his sense of humor. If you don't, you're not going to have as much fun. But if you like his sense of humor, and I do, you're going to really enjoy it. YST is my boy. I love YST. He's a mix of theory crafting and fun streaming and like good guides, and he does a little bit of everything. So really well-rounded, you know, content creator, and I just like him. I just like his personality, and we always had fun together when we were working together in last year's challenge. So guys that I don't watch that much anymore, but I've enjoyed at times, are like Scrank and Scratch, not Scrank. We were talking about Scratch and Cold Brew. I've definitely enjoyed those guys in the past. I just don't watch them much anymore because there's so many people to watch and so little time. Deadwood Jedi, I really enjoyed Deadwood Jedi. Obviously a specialist, so you know what you're going to him for, but also a great personality. I've done collabs with him. I've just enjoyed talking to him. Like, we just have hung out in Discord a few times and had good conversations about content creation and raid and life. Um, really like Deadwood. I miss Chosen. Honestly, I do miss Chosen. I used to watch his channel quite a bit. Um, I never really like Odd One. I watched a little bit, and Ivy Lee before she left and became Susie Plays, and Layla Fox a little bit, and Mad Capper a little bit. I like Mad Capper a lot, but they're just, I mean, how many did I just name? Like 25? There's so many out there. And so it's really hard for me to say I have a particular favorite because I bounce around. I just bounce around. But the two most consistent ones are Ash and HellHades. And not because they're the biggest or the best, but because HellHades, I always know I'm getting the most current news. He's very consistent with it, and he delivers it in a really easily like manageable or consumable fashion. And then Ash, because he's probably the most fun content creator out of everybody. I just love his attitude. So those are probably my two most consistent. Now here's the bigger question. Who's your favorite content creator? Got a lot of people in here just shouting out there. What did I teach? I taught everything. I taught everything that the world has ever required anybody to teach. No, I can teach like 80% of US high school curriculum. Like everything from biology to trigonometry to, physics to drama and art and wood shop. I could literally teach almost anything that's in a high school like course book. The things that I can't teach are foreign languages and like some AP stuff. Like I couldn't do AP calculus or AP physics probably or AP chemistry, but I could do like the regular stuff and it's like I could teach those, but I would have to focus on them. Cuz I think if you're going to teach stuff like that, you want to specialize in it. You want to really really know it. And so for me, like I was a classroom teacher at times, but usually I was a support teacher or a tutor. So, students having trouble in math and I would, work on his geometry with him. And then the next year he was in trig and I would just keep working with him and then be like, hey, can you help me with chemistry? I'm like, yeah, I'd just help him with chemistry. But in a lot of cases, it wasn't the AP stuff. So foreign languages and AP stuff, no. But I could do like AP bio, I could do AP economics, AP history, US history, AP gov. Like I could do all those classes. I taught civics for a while. Um, yeah, literally like 80% of US high school curriculum. And then for college, I taught a lot of the same stuff, but my focus was primarily writing, and like history papers, English papers, that kind of thing. Or I taught the grad school tests, so the GMAT, the LSAT, the GRE. So that's like the law school test, the business school test, and the general test. I could teach the MCAT, which is the medical school test. I could teach the verbal section of that, but I couldn't teach the science section of that. So I taught a lot of stuff over the years. Hey, Bront. It's YST's dad. Yeah, that's me. YST's dad. That was funny to me. Cracked me up. I don't know who it was who said that the other day, but somebody was like, "In your hat and hoodie, you look like YST's dad." Yeah, absolutely, Jack Goodman. I appreciate it. I love being a teacher. I love helping people. Um, I did it for a very long time. COVID hurt me, like it burned me out on some stuff. It hurt my business. And I don't love remote teaching, but I would rather do remote teaching than like do in-person teaching these days. So I still do a little bit of it, a little tutoring and stuff. Um, but I think after 26 years, even more realistically, because I started when I was 19, and I was still in college. But after all that time, I'm not getting any better at it. Like I've been at the top of my game for 15 years, and realistically, I don't feel a lot of growth for myself in it anymore. And I have so many things I want to do in my life, and I feel like if I'm going to do new things, I need to do it now, and start on that journey. And so, this is tangential. I'm still teaching, right, in a different format, in a different way, in a different, on a different subject, which is cool. So I still like being a teacher, and I still like helping people. I needed something new for me. So this is just one potential option. I've got other options. This is not paying the bills yet. We're still pretty far from that. We're probably at least a year from that, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the potential of Cole Red Plays. It's a raid CC canon now, yeah. Do you miss Darth microtransaction? Yes and no. Like, I don't miss him because the space is full. Do you know what I mean? I enjoyed Darth. I still sometimes check out his channel every once in a while, just to see how he's doing and what's going on in his life. He doesn't know me. I wasn't a content creator at the time. But he's got a personality that hasn't been replaced. Do you know what I mean? Like, his take on the game and his approach to content creation has not been replaced. So yeah, there's a bit of that. That being said, I'm a pretty positive guy, and he's a fairly cynical guy. I think he would call himself a realist, so I like him. I found his humor, to be fun at times. But I don't think I consumed a lot at him at any point. It was more like, if something came up, something specific, I'm like, I want Darth's take on it. And that was always fun to see. But yeah, like there are guys like Jay Giggs who I love. I love Jay Giggs. He's one of my favorite content creators. If you ask me my favorite content creator, he would definitely be in that, group. You're like the top 3. I think he would be my top 3 of all time. Because he's just entertaining and fun and specific. Like, he has a specific sense of humor and approach. But I don't actually go to Jay to learn anything about the game. Like, he doesn't do that many guides. He's not really that kind of content creator. I go to him to be entertained and to see his opinion on things and to just hang out with him because he's fun to hang out with. And he's a great guy. Like, I've met him. I've done some collabs with him. I just talked to him a few days ago. Not about doing a collab, but I just had some questions on like his journey as a content creator, and I needed some advice. And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we just chatted for like 45 minutes. It was awesome. So, Jay's a great guy. And I know he and Darth are friends, but yeah, that's, like with 40 great content creators out there, at least, it's hard to catch everybody. And I'm trying to support new content creators as well, and smaller people, because I got a lot of support on my way up. I did content. I did collabs with Ash and HellHades and Jay Giggs and MTG Jedi and YST and Deadwood Jedi, and like the guys that I watched all, when I went to them and I was like, "Hey, would you do a collab with me?" They all said yes. Not a single one of them said no. Not a single of them was like, "Hey, next month." Like I've had to actually say that. I've been like, I've got a kid, and like I got a family, and we've been sick like 3 times in the past 3 months. And I've had to say, "I'm sorry, it's got to be next month." but I try to say yes to every content creator that wants a collab because I've literally never gotten a no from anybody, which is cool. All right, here we go. Let's go over to the faction crypts and see what we can do in this Skinwalker thing. So it's basically going to be Wukong and these 4 champions. Good morning. You're ranked 66th on Demon Lord. You're pretty happy to be in the top 100. I didn't even know that the rankings went down to 100. Let me go look. So, like, I only see the top 10. How can you see? Oh, this is the community. That's why, right? Are those bigger? Like, how do you see that you're ranked 66th? Because I would like to know where I rank, and I can't find it. This rapper J Diggs. Show my progress pops up. A show my progress. Is that the issue that I'm not logged in? Oh, I thought I was perma logged in. That's why. It doesn't log you in when you show my progress. There we go. I've been looking for that for like 3 days. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am 10th in Faction Wars progression. That's crazy. That's going to go up right now. Oh, that I shouldn't have auto battled that, I guess. Okay, so let's see. I'm 17th in Demon Lord progress. That's kind of crazy because I'm not doing great there. Where? So I'm in the top 30 in everything except normal campaign progress, where I'm 50th out of 55. Yeah, because I'm not pushing campaign hard. Classic Arena, I'm 22nd. Great Hall Development, I'm 28. It's probably not going to work out for me. No. Okay. You know what? Honestly, I don't think I can care about this right now. I don't think I can gear these guys to give a damn. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and auto battle. It's too late and I'm too tired. We'll worry about stars next week. On the CC leaderboard, I'm 48th of 52 overall. Okay. Not surprised. Not surprised. I haven't done anything to get points. Would you regret 16 Ultimate Gaelic on the new free-to-play challenge account? I don't know. So I don't love Ultimate Gaelic. I don't know that I would regret building them. So there's too much conditional stuff. So it attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 70% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. If this champion is under an increased attack buff, each hit also has a 95% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 20%. If the target is under an HP burn debuff, it's like a lot of conditional stuff. But if you get all his conditions going, he's a good champion. You know, and you need an AoE HP burner, so you got one. He's a little bit inconsistent for me. I probably wouldn't build him. But I'd take him to 40 for faction grips, sure. Hey, Ephemeral. Good to see you, man. That was too funny. So I 3-starred the second time around. A duo with the new Sabbatha Dawncaller. Yeah. Please answer me about Hatter. I didn't see your question. Let me go up and say Dark Angel. Where was your question? So is it worth because they vote him already? I don't understand your question. So is it worth because they vote him already really badly inside the game? I talk about Hatter. I'm not sure. Was there a prior point? Hey, brother, is Hatter worth it for fusion? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a good fusion. Sure. Yeah, he's a very good champion. I think, you know, depending on where you are in the game, if you're at endgame, you might not care about him. But he's a good champion. And he's a good all-arounder. I think he's like, if you get him relatively early on, or if you're in the mid-game, he's going to give you a lot of all-around value. He is a buff extender, which if you don't have, and he's a good buff extender. You know, some other buff extenders are not as valuable as he is. He's got the stats as a legendary, obviously. So you have that, you know, benefit as well. And then he's got, you know, I think is it the debuff spread? I'm gonna have to go look at his kit because I might be confusing him with Loki. It's late, but yeah, you know, I did an assessment of him originally, and I thought he was a very good champion. It was funny. I've got these continuous heals, just boosted me right back up. Don't freeze me! Don't freeze me! Squeeze me! Why are you not using your AoE? You're not using your AoE. You didn't use his AoE that whole time. So here's a question. Can we beat this boss? My guess is no. Now, if I wanted to build these champions, maybe. But I don't build. Not right now. You're welcome. Shadow, please can you answer my question? Please can you answer my question? Please can you answer my question? I try to answer as many questions as I can. Sometimes I don't see them all. But so what's your question? Yeah, which champs are you running for 6 stars? Free to play champion guides. I don't do a lot of champion guides, but yeah, I can do some champion guides. Shadow Demon, did you answer me your champion? I don't see a list of your champions, Shadow Demon. Did I miss it? Way up above? My options I have are Brachus and Emic from my free Sacred and Void Shards, and I have Ugo, Tagore, or Seeker, or Mad Hatter, who I pulled in Ancient. and your current 6 stars are... let's see. Theodore and Kale. Well, the good news is you've got only good options. All 7 of those champions would be good. Brackus, Emic, Ugo, Tagore, Seeker, and Mad Hatters at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 would be good. I like the idea of leveling up maybe an epic now, as your next 6-star, simply because you're not going to have the legendary tomes, and you're getting Alice in a couple of days anyway. And you already have Theodore, so it's like maybe an epic would be really good. Seeker's an incredibly strong epic that will empower a whole lot. He'll help you in arena. He'll help you in clan boss. He'll help you everywhere. He's probably, the best utility there. Certainly Ugo and Tagore are both good. Tagore is worth a 6-star to be your main reviver, like for a long time. You probably won't replace him until you get a very good legendary reviver. So he's worth a 6-star. I like Mad Hatter. He's a really good option probably for you now because again, he gives you a lot of utility. He gives you turn meter fill. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. But he's going to give you turn meter fill. He's going to give you that buff extension. Whatever else he gives in his kit that I can't remember at the moment. So, Emic is awesome. I love Emic, and he empowers really cool team comps, but I don't know that you're there yet. Like, I don't know that you have the champions to put around Emic to make Emic really valuable. But there is a flip side to it, which is he's half of what you need for an unkillable clan boss team. So, potentially, he may end up being the best out of all of those champions that you're mentioning. Like, he may end up being the most valuable of all. Because he might unlock a Ultra Nightmare clan boss for you. So if you leveled him now, then you would just have him ready, and then all of a sudden you pull a Maneater, and you're done. And you've got your Ultra Nightmare clan boss team. Or you pull, a Helicath or a Roshguard or something, and you're done. I honestly don't think you can make a mistake here. It's more about preference. For me, personally, if it were my account, I'd probably lean into the tankiness and go with Tagore. I'd probably run Seeker at 5 stars for a long time because he basically does the job at 5 stars anyway. Or I'd go Mad Hatter out of the legendaries, and I would just Emic's gonna give you value at 5 stars at 50. You have some time, but it's hard to say. I think Emic is probably the best out of the the whole list. So if you wanted to just go as high value a champion as possible, you could certainly go Emic. But I think for where you are in the game, he's not going to provide as much value as Seeker or Tagore or Mad Hatter. Sorry, I can't be more specific. It's really about playstyle. None of them are bad. So if you just like one, level that one up and you're fine. Is Seeker not most effective at 5-star anyway? No, he's definitely more effective at 6 stars. Right? Because you can get a banner on him with speed, and you want speed on him. Potentially, you could get another piece of pinpoint or feral gear or something to boost more stats. He's incredibly good. All right, let's jump in here to the forge. See if we can make any pieces here. All right, we can make 3 pieces. Go ahead and get some decent perception gear. That's total crap. They're just sold. That's pretty mediocre. Give me something. Give me speed boots. Those were 3 really mediocre pieces. What can we do here? We can do one of these. Could we do one of these? No, we can do one of these. Give me something usable. Spend my whole night like working up to this little. I'll get more tomorrow because I still have to do the Sacred Order. I'm not going to be able to do Shadowkin at all. I don't have a single champion. So that'd be tough. who should get your Lego books. It really depends on your play style and what you feel is going to make the most impact in the most places. So if you're going Lego books into any of those champions, it should be the 6-star champion, right? So maybe it should be Theodore. All right, so let's see. Let's burn my last little bit of energy in the dungeons. Maybe we'll get a piece. We've got a lot of new chickens, though. We've got 2 new 3-star chickens, another 2-star chicken. So I'm on my way to my first 6-star. I'd probably I'm expecting to do it on day 5. This is day 4, so the next server day will probably be when I get my first 6-star chicken. Not 6-star chicken, 6-star champion. And then we'll have Alice. She'll be my third 50. And then I've got to figure out who my fourth 50 will be. This is nice. This is very nice. All right, let's see who that goes on. We were talking about a chess piece for somebody, weren't we? I think it was Sun Wukong. And that piece isn't great for Sun Wukong. It's not awful, but it's not great. So I would prefer to put that on somebody else. Maybe I could put it here. That's basically the same thing. What is it? This one. Basically the same thing. This one's a 5-star. But this has accuracy as a substat. What about... This is HP, and the other one was defense. But that would let me put this back on, right? But I don't... Is it crit rate on that? No, it's speed and accuracy. It's so weird that this always happens to me, but I get gear pieces like around the champion that I want, but I never quite get the right thing. Who benefits the most? None of my champions really. None of my champions really benefit. Yeah, now if I'm getting Bellower tomorrow, which I might get, I don't know if I can. People are saying that maybe I can't. You know, do I build up Shield Guard? Do I focus on Saurus at all? For right now, I'm not convinced that's the move either. I think I'll just grind up Athel, start prepping for Alice, keep trying to pick up gear through faction crypts and the forge. And when I get the pieces that click, they'll click. I think that's the way it's going to go. You haven't 6-starred yet. My starter is Athel, and I picked Tagore, Ugo, and Taragi. Pulled Mother Cybele and an Arbiter. Of course, we'll get Alice in a few days. Who would you 6-star first? I would 6-star your Arbiter. I mean, I would 6-star Athel first. But then before 6-starring... Okay. Maybe not. Let me think about this. Arbiter gives you the full aura at 5 stars. The only thing you can't get on her is a banner, but you don't have a banner for her anyway. So, yeah, keep her at 5 stars. You don't have to book her, really. I mean, Arbiter's the best champion on your roster right now, but you don't necessarily need to push her to 6 stars. So probably get Athel 6-starred first. And then figure out who's next. Maybe Taragi. Right? Because Taragi requires stats to be an ally protector, so you want him to have the most stats. So if he's 6-star and everybody else is 5-star, he's going to be as survivable as possible. But honestly, 5 stars take more damage, so his ally protection targets are going to be lower level. So I don't know if that's great either. That's a weird one. I've never actually done the math on that before. Again, the good news is they're all great champions. You're going to probably 6-star all of them at some point. I don't know about Mother Cybele. I've never pulled her on any account. So I know that she's good. She Dark Elf? Where is she? She Demon Spawn? What? Where's Mother Cybele? I can see her face, but I can't. Knight's Revenant. That makes sense. Yeah, she's probably Knight's Revenant. There she is. Okay. Speed aura in all battles, 24%. That's awesome. AoE A1, 25% chance of decreased speed, books to 50. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15%. That's a nice A1. 50% decreased speed. Revive on death and increased defense on all allies. That's okay. Swaps HP with an ally. We know about this one. Passive fully heals an ally with the lowest HP whenever this champion is killed. It's not bad. Got a lot of speed. Great speed aura. Great A1. The A2 is not bad either. I don't know about this. This could be good as well. But honestly, I feel like I would probably just go with an epic because you're going to be able to book them out. So probably Taragi. Or Tagore. I think it makes sense to 6-star Arbiter because then you can build her for PvE. And then you've got an A1 weaken, you've got that massive turn meter fill, you've got an AoE reviver, which would actually mean maybe Tagore is not necessary now that I think about it. I mean, Tagore still has the increased speed and the heal. Arbiter has a heal on her A2. But you don't need her. You don't really need her at 6 stars to do the job. It just gives her more stats, and it gives you a chance to put a banner on her. But she is the best champion on your roster. And she probably will be for a long time. And she would massively help you in Arena. But I think you could get most of that value at 5 stars for Arena. So it's a weird one. Like I don't think you would regret 6-starring Arbiter. Yeah, so maybe not. So the thing about this, now that I think about it, is maybe not Tagore. I think Tagore's become redundant with Arbiter on your team. Ugo's still going to be valuable for Hydra and a decreased defense champion. And Taragi is still going to be valuable as your ally protector. And I don't know that Taragi synergizes with Arbiter as well as he synergizes with Tagore. Because Tagore gives you an increased defense on the A1 for somebody. He gives you a heal and a... does he give you a shield or does mine give me a shield because I'm wearing a shield set on? Increased speed, heal, AoE, revive with a shield. And then decreases the damage. Yeah, it's a hard call. I think you just lean in one direction or the other. You just pick a path and say, I'm going to go for it. If you wanted to save books, if you still wanted to get decent value out of Arbiter and save books for somebody like Alice or somebody like Mother Cybele or somebody else, then you can just run Arbiter unbooked at 50 in Arena and get most of the value you need out. And then she's just not really a PvE champion, although she'll do fine in faction crypt. I'm not doing that, Kim Beck. I've talked about this before. I know that everything's reversed. I know that this is backwards. But I do that so that I can talk to you in a way that makes sense. Because otherwise I'm going to be facing the wrong direction for me. So you're just going to have to look at a reversed hat. We talked about, like, I'm going to create a hat and a sweatshirt that have the logos reversed on them so that when I reverse myself on camera, they'll look right. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I'm done for tonight. Let me go ahead and run one last burn this energy all the way down as much as possible. And in fact, I'll just run it with that one guy, I think. We'll throw it in, whatever. But yeah, thanks for hanging out tonight. I've enjoyed this live stream. I'm going to try to incorporate more live streams into the next couple of weeks as I do the free-to-play challenge. And then, you know, eventually we'll go back to the one live stream a week, because as much as I love live streams, they take up a lot of time. You know, I usually do like a 4-hour live stream or something. This one's only been about 3 hours, but I got to go to bed. I got to get ready for Friday, and I'm going to have to wake up with the boy at like 6:30 in the morning. He actually wakes up usually about 6:15, but my wife is usually up then. So, but that is it. Thanks for hanging out. Good luck in the challenge if you are participating, and if you're not, have fun watching the content. And yeah, been an awesome time. So y'all have a good night. I will see you soon.